Hi, Rustico. I've got 3:30 on the clock. Are we
Recording in progress.
ready to initiate?
Yes, Wayne, we're ready to start the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Rustico, sorry, are you recording this meeting or is somebody else attempting to record this meeting?
I think there was an EI something request to record the meeting, so we denied it.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you and good afternoon and welcome to the Development Permit Panel meeting of Wednesday,
Recording stopped.
June 25th. On the panel today, we have myself, Wayne Craig, General Manager of Planning and Development, Milton Chan, Director of Engineering, and Todd Gross, Director of Parks. Also joining us today, we have staff from our Development Applications Division, Josh Reese, Andrew Norton, and Ashley Kwan. The panel deals with items of architectural form and character, things such as architecture, lighting, landscaping, exterior access, etc. The panel does not deal with matters of land use or density, as those are established through the rezoning process, which is a council approval process. In terms of the order of business today, we'll adopt some minutes. We'll then go through each item on the agenda. Today's item does consist of one item. There will be an opportunity as each item is presented for the applicant to provide a presentation followed by staff comments, panel questions. There will be an opportunity for any member of the public to provide written comments or address the panel verbally with any questions, comments regarding the proposal. Following that, there will be panel deliberation regarding the item on the agenda, and then if the item is endorsed, it would proceed to council for their council's consideration when any prerequisite conditions are fulfilled. Of note, when items are forwarded to council for consideration, they are not delegable, so any members of the public wishing to make their views known on the application, today is the best opportunity to do so. With that, I'll turn our attention to today's agenda. The first item on the agenda is the adoption of the minutes of the Development Permit Panel meeting held on June 11th of 2025. Milton, Todd?
Moved.
Seconded. All those in favor? Thank you. Those meeting minutes are adopted. Item number 1 on today's agenda is development permit number 23-031345. The applicant is, please forgive me, Jack, if I pronounce your name incorrectly, Jack Pescia?
Close, Petra.
Petra. Thank you. The property address is 12399 Steveston Highway. The recommendation on the staff report is that a development permit be issued which would permit the construction of a 2-story commercial building at 12399 Steveston Highway on a site zoned commercial mixed use ZMU 18, The Gardens, Shelmont. With that, Matthew, will you be presenting or Jack?
My project architect, Randall, will be presenting.
All right, go ahead.
And you can share the screen.
All right, can you see my screen clearly? Everyone?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Reynold Orogo. I'm architect at BC. I'm the project architect for this project, and with me is Matthew Chang, our principal architect. So I'm going to be presenting to you the updates following the ADP meeting, ADP review. This is a 2-story commercial building within an existing complex at 12399 Steveston Highway. This building will occupy airspace parcel number 3 of an existing complex called The Gardens, located along Steveston Highway between number 5 Road and Highway 99. Its current zoning is ZMU 18 for commercial mixed use. The proposed commercial building will cater to medical clinic and doctor's office, which is one of the permitted uses within the zone. Here are screenshots of the proposed building in relation to its neighboring structures. Most buildings in the area don't really match each other, and so our design approach takes elements from nearby buildings to help unify the look. Since it's closer to the highway, we mainly drew inspiration from the townhomes on the northeast side, including their design and color scheme. That is the one at the bottom. This base building will be constructed on an existing concrete pad on top of an existing basement parking structure. To the east is a riparian area. RMA setback covenants are in place, and buffer zones are delineated on the site plan. As commented during the ADP, we have provided additional landscaping on this area, which will be further discussed by our landscape architect. To the west is an existing internal road and an adjacent 4-story commercial residential building. To the north is a roundabout and an access to the basement parking. And on the south is the Steveston Highway site. This is where the loading area and the garbage and recycling enclosure is located. Based on the ADP comments, we added pedestrian access from Steveston Highway. This improves connectivity and makes it easier for people using public transit. The airspace covers an area of 985 square meters, and the buildable area is 917 square meter. Our proposed FAR is 0.93. On the first level floor plan, has triangular configuration as dictated by the shape of the plot. It has an open plan that is currently divided into 4 commercial spaces. The west stairs and elevator core provides access from the basement parking up to the second level of the building. On the east side is where the utility and service rooms, as well as the secondary exit stairs. Level 2 is also an open plan that could be divided into 3 open spaces. The interior space is more orthogonal, with roof decks on the east side as an outdoor amenity with potted plants. Mechanical equipment is located on the rooftop that will be screened by an aluminum slated fence. In response to ADP comments, we have also allotted a solar panel rough-in for future installation. This is the north elevation that follows contemporary West Coast style with color palette of gray, brown, and white. This is the east elevation that faces the Highway 99. Here is the south elevation facing both Highway 99 and Steveston Highway. Now this is the west elevation where the main entrance to the building is located. The northwest perspective shows the main entrance and the most prominent corner to the public as they approach the building from the complex internal roads. Following ADP review comments, the revised design is simpler and easier to comprehend. We use repetition as a design principle by matching window designs and mirroring the built-up walls on the north and south sides. The continuous canopy adds weather protection and creates a brow effect that makes the building feel more connected to the ground, bringing down the building to human scale. Also, following the ADP, we have simplified the building mass and removed some of the crooked corners, increased the window sizes, and added windows on the stairwells as suggested. Also, we further simplified the finishes by eliminating one of the original finishes. This view from southeast is from the Highway 99 and Steveston Highway. Following the comments from ADP, we have simplified the building, provided more windows, and allowed more fenestrations and articulation to keeping the SAP requirements for a beacon building at this prominent location. The building sits on a small, oddly shaped triangular lot in the corner, we put careful effort into building it to step up gradually toward the taller buildings on the background, which are to the west and northwest, as seen from the highway, rather than competing with them. The revised building layout also opened more opportunities for landscaping facing the RMA. This northwest view shows the front landscaping and commercial units. In response to ADP comment about orphaned northeast corner, we expect that people are more likely to access the building from the northwest or southeast, where there's more foot traffic. Adding a path from the roundabout could be unsafe due to nearby vehicle access to the basement, and this would also reduce the landscape space. Here is one of the 3D model view. And here is another one. This completes my architectural presentation. I would now turn you to Ruan of PMG Landscape to discuss the landscaping. Ruan.
Thanks, Reno. Hi, everyone. My name is Ewan Ruan from PMG Landscape Architects. I'm the landscape architect for this project. From a landscape architecture perspective, our goal is to maximum the landscape opportunity within the site. Along the north frontage, which is top side of the plan, we have incorporated various pedestrian-oriented features such as bench, bike rack, and planters to enhance the usability. A large triangle planting bed further enhance the pedestrian experience along this edge. And the decorated paving pattern are integrated to reflect architectural form and characters of the building. The site northwest corner is also emphasized by the saw-cut concrete. Along the west edge of the site, raised planters are proposed to create a clear separation between the sidewalk and the drive lane. On the east side, a gravel sidewalk is aligned with narrow planters adjacent to the building. Further east lies a repair area created by the environmental consultant, and we have proposed some oval-shaped planting bed to provide the transition into this environmental area, per ADP comments. Next slide, please. Yeah. On the rooftop, we are proposing some planters and patio furniture to enhance the social interaction and gathering. Next slide, please. This is showing the environmental area, which is prepared by the environmental consultant. There's lots of the native planting, the plants is proposed here. Next slide. This one is showing some furnitures and details lighting we are proposing in this project. That's all for landscape. I will pass the presentation back to Reno.
Thank you so much. I'll get stop sharing for now.
Thank you for your comprehensive presentation. Josh, any staff comments?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, the applicant, for the comprehensive presentation. I'll just add a couple of points. The riparian management area located southeast of the property, of the building itself, is being enhanced with native planting, as in noted. There is also a 3-year maintenance on that RMA planting that has been secured as part of this development permit. All vehicle parking and secured bicycle parking for the subject proposal is located within the underground parkade that already exists on site. There is a new north-south walkway that would connect the subject property with the sidewalk on Stevenson Highway, providing an additional opportunity for pedestrians to access the site and the proposed development. There's also a rough-in for future rooftop solar. There is no servicing agreement associated with the application given the scope of the development proposed and the fact that the site is already serviced by existing privately owned on-site systems.
Thank you. Milton or Todd, any questions of staff or the applicant at this time? Todd, go ahead.
For the applicant, in addition to the riparian area, have you considered any additional sound attenuation or buffering along the highway and busy East-Easton intersection?
We did add some like planting beds along the side, and also we have a narrow planters along that the building edge to creating like a buffer. This is per ADP comment.
Okay, thank you.
A couple questions for the applicant. Just taking the southeast view from the highway side, I know you'd mentioned you'd done some work to address some comments from the ADP panel. Is there the opportunity to introduce some more windows or something just to make it look a bit like the backside of a building along that angled wall? Just one comment to take into consideration. And then a second question, looks like the building itself takes up much of the footprint of the airspace parcel. Also just wondering if there's been any thought that's been put into where the laydown areas are going to be and contractor parking and so on.
So for the first question regarding additional windows, as a matter of fact, we already provided a lot more windows in the back, especially on the second floor. The only thing without is on the level 2 primarily because, part of it because of like lessening the amount of noise that would go into it because this is a clinic. And so to mitigate that, it looked more architecturally appealing. We added some flooring vines, things like that, and also these vertical panels to tie up with the rest of the look of the building. With regards to the second question, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that quite.
I can answer to that. Appreciate the questions here. So with regards for the airspace parcel, yes, you're correct with regards to the building being on the maximum frontage or surface of the airspace. With regards for construction, as part of our construction management plan, that would, utilize the parkade where we can, where an approved construction management plan as code compliant. And then furthermore, any items required at grade would be agreed upon with the remainder owner if we needed any site or truck or materials to be stored.
Okay. Thanks. And then what's one last?
I'll also add, sorry, Milton, from the city's perspective. So the construction parking management plan is required as part of the building permit review process as well. So once should this application proceed and a building permit be applied for, the construction traffic and parking management plan will be considered as part of the building permit application.
Thanks. And then just one last comment. I see that the solar panels, it's just a roughing for future panels. Just one comment, since this is lower than some of the other buildings, if those go in, I would just like to see consideration on low glare or just that their angles that the reflection into some of the higher units is definitely taken into consideration when those are installed in the future.
Thank you.
I think the solar panel is only at the conceptual stage, right?
Yes.
So we only rough in for the connection, but it could be developed when the time comes.
Yeah.
Okay, I do have a few questions myself. The decorative pavement banding, appreciate its efforts to provide site interest. I'm just, however, wondering about the accessibility considerations related to visually impaired and whether the contrasting between the sidewalk and the decorative paving is muted enough that there will not be any perceived obstacles created for people who may have vision impairment?
Okay, so this dog paver, so right now is charcoal. The purpose is just to integrate with architecture, the characters. We can, pick the lighter color. It's not really,
Okay, perhaps when we get we'll see where this goes, but I think one of the items I may request prior to this item proceeding to council, should it be endorsed today, is that the contrasting colors be reviewed to ensure that they will not create any sort of impediment to people with vision impairment. In terms of the rooftop mechanical, has there been an acoustical report to ensure that there would be no noise impact on adjacent residential units?
Hi, Wayne. Thank you for the question. There has not been an acoustical report, as acoustical report was not required as part of our DP for commercial use.
Have you spec'd that equipment? Do you have an indication as to noise generation that will be generated from that equipment, or not yet?
I don't have the exact noise from the mechanical, but that's an item we can address. Overall, the noise would follow typical standard mechanical equipment you would see for this site, but I can provide a more detailed response following this meeting.
Okay. Maybe I'll phrase it in a different way as well. Matthew, would the proposed enclosure, or Reynold, would the proposed enclosure allow for the introduction of a roof on that HVAC enclosure if required?
Yes, we have designed, we have allowed for the enclosing, for the fence, for the static fence around the rooftop unit, right?
Yeah, so we have, so the enclosure is, I believe, is primarily for an eyesore kind of part. But if you would notice that we have some wall here, we might be able in the future, we'll see how the electrical would respond to it regarding how much noise that it would be generated. And so on this side is actually where the closest building would be, so that would be more primary of a concern. So that's why I placed the MUs or mechanical units at the back. So hopefully maybe we can put maybe a wall here to attenuate, like redirect the sound waves as opposed to like going like towards the building, something like that. In that effect.
Okay, thank you for that.
I think we will get into more detail when we have the spec from the mechanical unit, right? And we will see the sound level, and we will make appropriate action.
Okay, and then just lastly, and this is probably for you, Jack, there are a number of improvements, landscaping and otherwise, which are proposed on the remainder. So the garbage enclosure, some of the landscaping on the north side of the building, some of the landscaping on the south side of the building. I'm assuming that your agreements with the remainder do allow for those improvements to be installed?
That's correct. For the garbage enclosure, we have an easement that allows for our use as for our garbage space on the remainder lot. And as with regards to landscaping, we have authorization from the remainder owner for our proposed plan and works on the remainder, which has been provided to the city.
All right. And in terms of the garbage enclosure, Matthew or Reynold or Ewan, if you could just describe the enclosure and specifically the southern extent which would potentially be visible from Steveston Highway.
So this is a typical design that Ewan has shown us regarding the enclosure. It looks really pretty. It has a little bit, it has some, you want to talk more about your design and the garbage enclosure?
Yeah, it's more like the solid fence around the side, and we have a little bit trellis on top. Yeah.
Yeah, we added the... sorry, Wayne.
Go ahead.
We just noted that we added the trellis on top, so the neighboring strata, those residential units aren't looking directly onto, the garbage. It provides a more appealing presence. And then with regards to visibility to Steveston Highway, there is quite a few trees behind this enclosure, which provides a natural buffer to that road and view of public realm.
All right, thank you very much. Rustico, do we have any written correspondence or members of the public that wish to address the panel today?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we did receive an email from a certain Swanjun Wei, but we have no members of the public here wanting to delegate on this item.
All right, Mr. Rees, may I ask that you summarize the contents of the letter and provide any response as required? Matthew or Reynolds, you can stop sharing screen.
Yes, so we did receive correspondence from Mr. Shanjun Wei, a resident of the building to the north. Their comments were regard to the density and proximity to the highway off-ramp. There is no change to access or roads in this area as part of the proposed development. In addition, the proposed density is compliant with the applicable zoning bylaw applicable to the site. This development and commercial use was also identified at the time of the prior rezoning that rezoned the area and permitted the surrounding residential uses.
All right, thank you for that. Panel deliberation. Milton, Todd, any comments? And maybe I can kick it off. I would like to provide some direction to staff and the applicant to review the decorative pavement contrast just prior to this application proceeding to council to ensure there is no impact on the visually impaired. And I'd also like to ensure that prior to building permit issuance, there is acoustical information provided with respect to the rooftop mechanical equipment. So if you're all okay with those additions, any comment before we call the question?
Nothing more for me.
All right. We do have a positive staff recommendation. Is anyone prepared to move that recommendation?
So moved.
All right. Todd?
Second.
All right. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Your application will proceed to council for consideration once the prerequisite conditions are addressed. Josh, any new business?
No new business, Mr. Chair. The next scheduled meeting of the development permit panel is July 16th, and we do have items scheduled for consideration at that meeting.
All right. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Seconded. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.